Huge news in the Kevin Durant trade saga as Deandre Ayton has signed an offer sheet and the Phoenix Suns have matched it, virtually eliminating the possibility that they make a trade, which essentially also makes the Raptors favorites to trade for Kevin Durant. Let's get into it. What's going on, NBA and Raptors fans? Jacob here, back with Amateur Hour Sports for another Toronto Raptors YouTube video. On this channel, I bring you the greatest coverage and analysis on the latest Toronto Raptors news, and I'm going to be doing it all throughout the offseason, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We just hit 10,000 subscribers. Let's go get 11,000 subscribers. And if you find yourself enjoying this video along the way, be sure to drop a like. We want to hit 400 likes on today's video. We can absolutely do it together. But what we need to discuss today, of course, is the huge breaking news about Deandre Ayton. It was really awkward timing yesterday. I wish I could have gotten this video out yesterday, but gotta get it out today because that's all I had time to do. And wow, Deandre Ayton got a max offer sheet from the Indiana Pacers. People kept saying that Deandre Ayton is going to sign tomorrow. He's going to sign tomorrow. And I think what was really going on is that the Pacers are really trying to get a sign and trade here from the Phoenix Suns, but ultimately they just couldn't really get it to work out. So I feel like they just kind of got fed up trying to wait out a sign and trade, and we're like, all right, let's just give him the offer sheet and see what happens here. And the Phoenix Suns decided that they were going to match the offer sheet. I was a little bit surprised when they matched the offer sheet because, well, the relationship with Deandre Ayton seems to be not so good, to say the least. And it looks like Deandre Ayton kind of wanted to go, but the Phoenix Suns had the restricted free agency. It's in place for that reason. They drafted Deandre Ayton first overall. They decided to match it. And according to reports, they always intended to bring Deandre Ayton back. And honestly, if it meant not being embarrassed about losing the first overall pick that I got 4 years ago, I would probably lie as well, because it seemed like the Phoenix Suns really wanted to part ways with Deandre Ayton, but the reality is they just couldn't bear to lose him for absolutely nothing. That would have looked so bad on the franchise, and obviously there's asset retention. You can trade Deandre Ayton down the road, but you can only trade him down the road, and this is the biggest thing about this situation that helps the Toronto Raptors in their pursuit of Kevin Durant, because the Phoenix Suns were the favorites to land Kevin Durant through a trade. They were the favorites to go out and get him. Kevin Durant expressed that that was the destination that he wanted to go to play with Devin Booker, to play with Chris Paul, try to go and win an NBA championship. And the Phoenix Suns, really, their trade chips were Mikal Bridges and Deandre Ayton. Deandre Ayton being the much more coveted piece, the 23-year-old who, has the potential to be one of the best centers in the NBA. But as I mentioned, they can only trade him down the road because I've seen a little bit of either conflicting reports, or I don't really understand, but I've read that the Phoenix Suns can't trade Deandre Ayton until actually January 15th. I've also seen that Deandre Ayton can veto any trade for a year. He can veto any trade the Phoenix Suns make for a year. And I don't know if it's that one and not, the January 15th thing, or if it's both at the same time. But regardless, the Phoenix Suns, that was their asset to go and get Kevin Durant through a trade. So without Deandre Ayton to actually go and make that trade, they're out of these discussions. And as far as the Phoenix Suns being out of these discussions, well, let's think about who the second favorite team was to go and trade for Kevin Durant. That would be the Toronto Raptors. So essentially, Deandre Ayton signing this offer sheet with the Indiana Pacers, which forced the Phoenix Suns to match it, give Deandre Ayton the max contract that they so desperately did not want to give him. That has effectively made the Raptors the favorites to go and get Kevin Durant through a trade. We've been talking about Kevin Durant so much on this channel, and for the right reasons. A lot of things have happened that we've had to cover on Amateur Hour Sports, and so far, I've been kind of predicting it pretty well here. I was expecting the Indiana Pacers to give Deandre Ayton the offer sheet. There were so many reports suggesting that that would be the case. And when it happened, I kind of felt like the Suns weren't going to match it because they didn't want to pay Deandre Ayton all that money. But again, they wanted to keep that asset for a trade at possibly a later date. But they now can't trade Deandre Ayton. The salary is much higher to trade Deandre Ayton. And Mikal Bridges on his own is not going to get this trade done. I felt like Deandre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, and picks was either slightly worse or just no better at all than Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby plus picks for Kevin Durant. Now you can't trade Deandre Ayton. And I will let you know with absolute certainty that Phoenix are not getting this trade done with Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and a bunch of picks. So the Phoenix Suns cannot trade for Kevin Durant. We've talked about all the other teams that were kind of heavily involved in these sweepstakes, Miami Heat being one of them. Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, that's not going to get this trade done either. Miami are not like real players in this game. The Raptors have a bunch of assets available to make this trade happen, and they can do so without Scottie Barnes. They can do so without Pascal Siakam because nobody is putting in a player at the caliber of these two. The Raptors are going to offer Gary Trent Jr. and OG Anunoby, and no other team is going to give an offer as good as that. Brooklyn are kind of in a situation right now where, they've discussed already, they've spoken like, we're not getting the value that we were expecting for Kevin Durant. So they are definitely going to try to hold out in these discussions. They're going to try to keep Kevin Durant. I'm sure at this point, knowing Deandre Ayton is off the board and the possibility of a sign and trade has kind of gone out the window, I am very sure that at this point, the Brooklyn Nets are going to do everything in their capabilities to try to convince Kevin Durant to actually stay with the team because like I said again, nobody's offering a player of Scottie Barnes' caliber, no doubt. Nobody's offering a player of Pascal Siakam's caliber either, unless New Orleans want to get involved. And again, sounds like a broken record here. There's no indication that the Pelicans want to do that. The Celtics don't appear to have any interest in trading Jaylen Brown. The 76ers, they're not going to trade James Harden, so that's not going to happen. He's not going back to the Brooklyn Nets. The Warriors surely can be a player in this game. They offer Wiggins, Kuminga. You also want to throw in another young player, maybe some more salary filler. That's a possibility to make this happen. I could actually see Kevin Durant going back to the Warriors. Could you imagine that? Would Kevin Durant really welcome that fact after kind of his reputation was tarnished going there the first time? As far as I see, this is not a hot take. And this is straight up fact. The Raptors were always in the best position, in my opinion, to get Kevin Durant. Again, I don't think that just needs to be my opinion. That just seems like actual fact. The Raptors were in the best position to trade for Kevin Durant, and the closest suitor behind them in the Phoenix Suns is now completely out of the race. The Raptors are legitimately the best possible trade destination for Kevin Durant at this specific point, and Brooklyn probably have to listen to offers from them, or they're going to have to figure out a way to keep Kevin Durant. They're going to hold out. I think, again, that this is a bad decision for the Brooklyn Nets. They are currently in a disaster situation after Kevin Durant requested a trade. There's now people talking like Kyrie's going to stay with Brooklyn whether or not Kevin Durant leaves. I don't know how much validity there is to that statement, or how much validity there really is in any statement made by Kyrie Irving. But regardless, Kevin Durant wants out. If he doesn't get the trade that he's looking for, that's just going to be an even more disastrous situation. It's just going to mount up even more pressure on Brooklyn Nets ownership. And I'm sure they just want to be over and done with this entire situation. So I honestly feel like it is within their best interest to make something happen with Kevin Durant. I'm not saying take any offer available, but I am saying it is within their best interest to get this situation sorted out in the offseason. The Raptors have the best package that they can offer them. I really don't know, and I don't think Brooklyn are going to want to take OG Anunoby, Gary Trent Jr., and a bunch of picks to make this a boatload, a motherload of picks to make this deal happen. But if they want to trade Kevin Durant, I seriously don't see any team offering better than that. The situation is playing out very much as we would have anticipated on Amateur Hour Sports here. We knew the Raptors had probably the best stuff to begin with. The Phoenix Suns, sure, they had Ayton and Bridges, and with those guys, Kevin Durant maybe wanted pushing for a trade because that's a destination he wants to go to. Sure, they were heavily involved within those discussions 100%, but with them out of the discussion, with them out of any sort of trade negotiation, nobody is matching what the Raptors are going to be offering. So the Brooklyn Nets have a big decision to make. If they want to keep Kevin Durant, let that disastrous situation continue to snowball into a bigger and bigger problem, go ahead. Because the Raptors have a great core in place here with Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby, Fred VanVleet, Scottie Barnes, Pascal Siakam, putting together a competitive bench as well. We're comfy with this core. We're comfy to run with this core for this season. Masai Ujiri said they love the core they have. They want to work with the core that they have. Obviously, he's kind of lying. He still wants to trade for Kevin Durant, but we're comfy with this core. The ball is in their court. If they want to accept a trade that we have, we'll make that trade for Kevin Durant. If you don't want to take that trade, you guys can deal with that problem. We're going to be completely fine with our situation with a possible future perennial all-star in Scottie Barnes, hoping Siakam has another All-NBA season. It's a great situation for the Raptors. It's not a great situation for the Brooklyn Nets. We can probably help them fix that, but it's up to them what they want to do. But what we need to get overall out of what's happened in the last day or so, Deandre Ayton is going back to the Phoenix Suns on a max contract that they did not want to give him, and they're out of these discussions. And the Raptors and the Phoenix Suns, as far as the betting odds were concerned, the last time they were available, it's been quite a few days since that point, but I imagine if those odds were to go back up, the Raptors would be the huge favorite to get Kevin Durant through a trade. I think that ultimately the likeliest spot for Kevin Durant next season is the Brooklyn Nets and them just hanging on to him. But anybody other than Brooklyn, it's the Raptors, and it's not going to be close. Like, the Suns and the Raptors were in a class of their own as far as those betting odds were. And without the Phoenix Suns there, it's just going to be the Raptors hanging around up top. There is a very distinct possibility Kevin Durant starts the next season in a Toronto Raptors uniform, and that's an exciting thought to have. Also, equally as exciting to run it back with the same core. Whichever way it happens, we're going to be fine. Brooklyn, the ball is in your court. So what do you guys make of DeAndre Ayton signing this offer sheet? Do you really think the Raptors are going to be able to land Kevin Durant through a trade? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below, because that is it for me for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please, if you did enjoy, be sure to drop a like on this video. Drop a like if you want Kevin Durant to get traded to the Toronto Raptors. When you like this video, it lets YouTube know that other people on the platform on YouTube who have similar interests to you may also enjoy this video. Therefore, it's recommended to more people. It takes you just a second to like the video, but it does help me out a ton. And make sure, if you're not subscribed, you do that. I mean, I'm giving you the greatest coverage and analysis on the latest Toronto Raptors news 3 to 4 times a week, all throughout the offseason, all throughout this season, and everything in the future. We just hit 10,000 subscribers. I'm not stopping anytime soon. I'll see you again next time for another video.